Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, in the last part, we fought valiantly against the forces of Monolith to turn off the Brain Scorcher, opening up the northern reaches of the zone for the first time ever since its inception. And now we have to fight against the forces of Monolith to get out of this godforsaken catacomb. Now, I'm going to level with you because I think it is imperative for us to be honest with one another to have a meaningful and impactful relationship. Not only have I played this game hundreds of times over the years, but I have also just now but I got to the start of the nuclear power plant. And I'll tell you what happened. It was a slaughterhouse. We pushed through Pripyat, and after this segment, what we need to do is get our Rumpkus down to a trader. Would you like to know why? Because there's not an opportunity for us to get any additional ammunition except for off the corpses of those that we fight, right? So I push through this entire God-blessing thing. The entire push through Pripyat, and that means shooting people with Gauss rifles. You know, going up against Gauss rifles, not us having a Gauss rifle. Going up against them with this pistol, the Black Kite. As you can imagine, that was a frustrating experience. And we're not going to be doing that again. So, this episode is not going to culminate in the end of our Stalker playthrough. We're going to have to drag this out a little bit so we have an enjoyable experience. And I think that's perfectly okay. I don't think there is anything wrong with dragging this out a little bit. So in the last part, what I did was I apologized a bunch for, you know, the short nature of this and Metro. Both of those series are, you know, ending relatively quickly because instead of doing like hour-long episodes, I decided to do longer or, you know, more long play formats, which is resulting in, you know, we finished Metro in 5 episodes. And you have to understand, I love these games. You know, these are my bread and butter. This is my wheelhouse. This is, you know, these games are my passion, my love, right? When it comes to games. I can't think of a single other video game that has impacted my life as largely as Stalker has, right? So I do apologize for the short nature of this series. You know, it's not over yet, but I do apologize for the relatively short nature of this series. I think if we really, you know, suffer against the grain and drag it out, we could get 10 episodes in this series. Frankly and realistically, my friends, we're not going to get 10 out of Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, this is not to say that, you know, if we play Clear Sky, which I'm going to see if we should play, I'm going to do some digging and see if that's going to be worth our time. Not do some digging. I'm going to check and see, like, dig within myself and see if that's something I really want to do for the channel. And if the answer is yes, then great, we get more content. If the answer is no, then it's no. But I don't see why not. Seeing as if we can clean these. I don't want to be like blasting through these. That's not my intention. When I start a series, I don't want to, you know, blow through because I don't get a ton of content out of it if I blow through. And that is ultimately why we're here, right? You know, so I can push a good amount of content out and keep things fresh and exciting, you know. If I didn't, there wouldn't be any purpose, right? It would just be, I mean, if I, only did single episodes, like, for example, if I played Metro in one sitting and released it like that, and did all of my content like that, that would be, I suppose that would be my niche, but that's not what I want to do, So, there are some things we have to talk about in regards to Stalker and whatnot that we talked about in the last bit, when I cleared through this and whatnot the first time, and that is Stalker cannot be emulated. I am a firm believer that Stalker cannot be emulated. This is a 20-year game. There is nothing that has come out since Stalker's release, since Shadow of Chernobyl came out, that is even remotely close to a Stalker experience. There is no comparison whatsoever. And I think that is one of the reasons why I love Stalker so much. It is uniquely Stalker, right? It's not pretending to be anything else. It doesn't have the ability to pretend to be anything else. It is what it is, regardless of if you like that or not. And I respect Stalker for that. Something about Stalker 2 that really grinded my gears was it seemed like the final product was rushed, right? And everyone, the big elephant in the room being there is a war currently happening in Ukraine, right? And I'm not here to take a political side or talk about politics. We're not going to do that. But there is most definitely a war going on, and I'd say I would wager that had something to do with with the production of this game kind of taking a more streamlined linear experience. But all that nonsense aside, Stalker 2 did not feel like a Stalker game at all. It felt like a linear story-driven Far Cry experience, which I detest and I think is cheap and a waste of resources. Why would you? You've come so far. Technology has come so far since the first Stalker game got released. Why not build upon the pre-existing system? And I'm not saying use the gosh darn X-ray engine, but why not expand upon an already beautiful game? This one's held together by hopes and dreams, and like I talked about in the last part, the fact that it works with as few bugs as it has is a marvel. It truly is. And on top of that, the fact that the game, like the bugs within the game are considered features is also remarkable. Like, bugs are normally met with extreme criticism, and in Stalker, people just accept them as they are and like them. I'm one of those people that actively enjoys, the bugs and the wacky nonsense contained within Stalker. Oh, look, a crystal. Wow. All right, so let's put this in place. That'll help our radiation resistance significantly. So we must, ask ourselves, are we... I don't know. The state of the world aside, we're talking about video games, and, I could really get into a bit of a tangent about that. But from a base level, Stalker 2 is not a Stalker game. It wanted to be Far Cry, which Far Cry sucks in recent years. The last good Far Cry was Far Cry 3. Far Cry 4 was okay. Okay. But you know that I didn't like 5. Haven't played anything since because it's straying away. Well, not only is it becoming a carbon copy of each other, a cookie cutter amalgamation of the previous games with, with a new skin over it, which is gross as a whole, and not an enjoyable experience, at least for me. And I know I'm not alone in this sentiment. I know a lot of people are disappointed with the state of games as a whole, but Far Cry is a good example of it. Like, for those of you who played like Far Cry Primal and stuff like that growing up, and then Far Cry 2, yeah, Far Cry 2, Far Cry Primal, stuff like that. It was a very, very unique experience, and what it did was it created a world, a sandbox, and said, hey, go explore, go tear it up. And then, Far Cry 2 did the same thing. That map felt ginormous. That game felt ginormous, and it added a bunch of neat features within the world itself. Like weapons maintenance and whatnot.
Almost went mad here when they found out. All who could rushed to break through to the center of the zone. Lone stalkers, freedom, duty, even the mercenaries. The first one who makes it will have it all. Wish granter, gold mine of artifacts, and hell knows what else. Hurry up, if the granter is really in the sarcophagus of the station. The first who gets there will be granted a wish. A squad of veterans is gathering before Pripyat at this moment. You can go with them if you make haste.
Yes, very good. So our goal is to move on to Pripyat, but we do not have the ammo to do so. So what we're going to do instead is make our way down the mountain, back through the Red Forest, which forgive me, it's been a long time since I played Shadow of Chernobyl. I know I've said, like, oh, we got to go through the Red Forest, yada yada. It's a different Red Forest than the one that we are, is it? No, hold on. Forgive me, I'm getting all sidetracked here. Forgive me for mixing up locations, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see here. We are still just a fly on the wall for a turf war between individuals who all want the same thing. Well, I guess they don't really want the same thing, do they? So here is the Red Forest. The Red Forest. The spooky, scary skeleton that is the Red Forest. What I want to do is I want to go through secret stash. Very good. I want to go through the world and look at some of these different areas before we just press. Oh my god! Before we just press straight into the heart of the zone, we need ammo anyways. So there. Oh, hello. Ooh. I should have known there'd be a rogue bloodsucker. Yeah, like I said, I've played Anomaly, and it's at the forefront of my mind at all times. Because it's the most recent game I've played. And it's not even it's the most recent Stalker experience I played, and some may argue the most faithful. But Stalker Anomaly has, ooh, I should have known better. Stalker Anomaly has, you know, all the areas blended together, so when I might mix up and say that, you know, this area is within this game, or it's, you know, located here, yada yada. Just bear with me. It's I'm just making a goof. I am making a goof indeed. This is the Red Forest, though, and this iteration of it is pretty bleak. There's a Psy-Dog around here. We want nothing to do with them. And pseudo-dogs as well. Psy-Dogs are vicious, vicious creatures. One that I have no interest in fighting with. Christ alive, come on now. Thankfully, we have not come across a Chimera, because that is next on our list of terrifying mutants to experience. And that's not something that anyone should be looking forward to. I kind of want to go get the stash over here while we're here. Where is this dog? Where is the main dog? That's a Snork. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're gonna die running around like a moron over here, aren't we? Alright, let's just go try to get this stash before we leave. We've burned through all of our Hydra rounds, which is alright. We can get more, and we have significantly more rounds than we did in the previous version of this run. So, one of my questions was, do you folks want to see, do you have any interest in watching me play Far Cry 2? Is that something that you would like? Because I have it, and I have the ability to do that. And Far Cry 2 is one of my all-time favorites. So, if you're interested, I'll play it. If not, that's alright too. You know, Far Cry 2 took a neat concept. It had a lot of unique things that didn't carry over. Like the buddy system was one thing I found unique. I thought the currency being a ooh, hell. I thought the currency was super duper unique, that you were paid in diamonds, blood diamonds. And you had the ability to hunt those down on your own as well, using the radio tracker, or the radio transmitter, which was a lot of fun. It was a really cool experience, a really fun experience, and I don't know. It was realistic, is what it was. It was a very realistic depiction of war, and also kind of zany in some ways, but it didn't get away from itself, right? It didn't lose what it was. It was a very gritty, realistic depiction. The buddy system was awesome. It's the only real mercenary simulator out there that I can think of off the top of my head. And its weapon maintenance system, where... Ooh, God. Yeah, its weapon maintenance system was phenomenal. Christ alive. Okay. Well, that's not my favorite thing ever. this is all bad. This is all very bad. Okay. Hey, second time's the charm, I guess. So you guys are just staying behind, I guess, while everyone else rushes towards the center of the zone. You know, for everybody, do you think all stalkers come to the zone in order to rush to the center of the zone, right? Is that what everyone's here for? No, I think not. I think for a lot of people that might be the ultimate stalking experience, the ultimate adventure, but I don't think that is at the forefront of everyone's mind. I feel like a lot of people want to maintain their encampments. I think a lot of people want to, live a, semi-normal life in the zone. Like Sidrovich. Do you think Sidrovich is running towards the center of the zone? No. But he is surely doing what? And that is paying people ludicrous sums of money. And by ludicrous, I mean it's ludicrous that he thinks that that is an acceptable amount of payment to give to an individual risking their life to get to the center of the zone. Yeah, but he's definitely paying people to do the work for him. And guess what? We don't like people like that, do we? We don't like that very much. We're going to go in here to Freedom Camp. Hello, everybody. And talk to Skinflint. And hopefully we can buy a ton of 5.56 and maybe, just maybe, no, I don't think Dead City even exists, does it? Does it? Does Dead City exist in Shadow Chernobyl? To the warehouses? Wild territory? Hell no, it doesn't. Oh my god. So, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there should be, over here, Deserted Hospital, right? Up in here somewhere is Deserted Hospital. You have, this is, never mind. Never mind. All right, let's just go talk to Skinflint, get our ducks in a row, and then we'll push towards the center of the zone. I really didn't want to end it here, but we don't have much of an option. It's not like Anomaly where we can just, kind of slink about. We are currently... No, hold on. What are we? Fireball, Spring, Sparkler, Mika, Crystal. Alright. Yeah, everything else is fair game. So that can all go. I'm gonna... Does he have... Yeah, he sells 762 by 54, doesn't he? Yes. It's an exoskeleton for a lot more money than we can afford, because we're broke. 12,000. We'll trade that. We're not going to get rich in this playthrough, folks, and that's unfortunate. That is an unfortunate reality of the zone. But we're going to buy all of his AP rounds entirely, every single bit of him, and all of the 5.56, every grenade he has. And all the Hydra rounds, because we're not going to need much where we're going. Alright. Now we could go back and visit all of our stashes. That would require a lot of walking. And I don't think you folks are here to see that. I would really like more 5.56 than what I have. Honest to God. We are full up. We have a good amount, but, I know what a good amount versus a great amount are, especially when it comes to Stalker. And a combat load is, for those of you that are curious, a combat load is 210 rounds of ammunition. That is 180 rounds carried on your person, which translates to 6 30-round magazines, and then a 30-round magazine inside your weapon system for a total of 210 rounds. We are currently carrying 240 rounds, so we're carrying one more than a perfect combat load, and it's not enough. It just frankly is not enough ammunition. Now, we have, how many AP rounds do we have? We have 150 AP rounds, so that's going to get us through the rest of it. We'll use our standard rounds for the most part here. We're taking a huge hit on endurance. See, these two are fighting. They're evened out. Our endurance is perfectly centered right now. But we're going to use all of our standard. They have these listed as SS-109 rounds. That's not right, but let's call it ball rounds, or our, standard FMJ rounds. We're going to burn through those first, and then we'll transition over to our AP rounds. And fight on, keep soldiering on, right? There's a, oh, that's not good. That's not good. Because we are about to go up against one hell of an enemy. Ooh, I tried really hard there to knife him. We're about to go up against one hell of an enemy. And that is the Gauss rifle wielding monsters that are monolith. Exoskeleton wielding or wearing Gauss rifle carrying monsters. And I assure you, they want nothing more than to put us in the dirt. We're going to sneak around because I don't have time for this. But, I was kind of hard. I'm overly critical on Stalker 2, and I'm very passionate about Stalker, so I feel like I get I'm allotted some freedom, right, to be critical of a work, right? I think anyone who appreciates a work can be critical of it, and I'm not a critic. I think that's goofy and ridiculous. But yeah, I may be a little harsh regarding a work that I'm passionate about, and I think that's totally deserved. Stalker 2 was not a perfect work. And for the amount of time that was given, or not given, but the amount of time taken to produce that product, you would think that it would be significantly more polished. And there's been a ton of updates. I'm speaking from the day one gameplay that I experienced, because I played it all over the course of like 4 sittings, top to bottom, and then I haven't gone back because I've had things going on. But we will revisit it on the channel, and perhaps all of my harsh criticisms will be taken away. That is that would be phenomenal, and I would appreciate that. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I do not. I think, unfortunately, Stalker 2 was trying really hard to be something that it's not. And, that's the type of stuff that I tend to, dismiss as a... Not dismiss, but I tend to consider that like an unforgivable sin when it comes to making a game. If you're creating a product and you create this beautiful universe that has a cult status, anything that has a cult status, when you're in danger of your fans not liking different iterations of it, right? Because it means so much to them. So I think when they came out with Stalker 2, and it was a little different than a lot of us were expecting, I think it might have it personally struck a nerve with me, But I could harp about that and talk in circles for far too long about Stalker 2 and why I was upset with it when it came out. It felt cheap, and it was unpolished, and it just didn't have the life that I knew from Stalker. Even Shadow of Chernobyl, a 20-year-old game, does 90% of that game better. But we're going to play it on the channel anyways, so we have a, you know, a fresh set of eyes, I guess. And I think it's fair to give things a second chance if they deserve them. And Stalker has had a bunch of updates. There are, you know, a ton of total conversion mods out there. Or people are working on putting out total conversion mods. You have to forgive me there. So we are going to give it a second chance. You know, I like to think about Strelok in this situation, pushing towards the center of the zone, having to fight the monolith for the first time. You know, when you look at when you think about the monolith, and when I say the monolith, I'm talking specifically about monolith forces, right? Not the Wish Granter itself, but monolith forces. I know that might get muddy for some of you folks. I apologize for that. I'm gonna try to be more plain in speaking moving forward. Jesus Christ, it's a slaughterhouse here. This is good for us though, because we can take all of their ammo. Very good. Very good. I'm gonna take as much as they'll let me, as much as allotted. Take all the food we need, which we already have plenty. I'm actually going to eat some of this. But within the zone, what the hell am I saying? Oh, it seems like Duty survived. Yeah, no, it seems like Duty didn't survive. Seems like it was a total catastrophic failure of operation. Night Star. Look at this. Very cool. This wonderful artifact is formed by the anomaly springboard. The use of this artifact demands the neutralization of deadly radiation. Expensive and rare, this artifact is extremely interesting for scientific expeditions and other research activities in the zone. And then Slug, formed by the fruit punch anomaly. The negative qualities of this artifact are compensated by the fact that it heightens the coagulation quality of blood. It's not often that one runs into such an artifact, and they pay well for it too. Very cool. This stops our bleeding. Right. So let's get rid of this and put Slug in there. Alright. What was I talking about? Strelok pushing into the zone. Following the trail of all these people, you know.
Listen closely. We're going to push forward to the station. The town is swarming with monolith bastards and other scum, so keep your eyes open and cover your backs. That's it.
Check your guns.
Check your guns.
We'll advance along the lane. Stand by 15 seconds.
Stand by 15 seconds.
You must be the marked one. Barkeep spoke of you. Let's try and break through together. I know the path to the station. Go!
Alright, so we have done something that nobody else has successfully attempted to do, right? And that's turn off the Brain Scorcher, opening up the routes north into the zone towards the nuclear power plant. Now, this is where stuff like Jupiter comes into play in later iterations of this. Jupiter being the artifact haven, and then the nuclear power plant itself.
Trying to get to the center first to skim all the cream. Guess what? We're soon going to be there too. Move it, guys.
The nuclear power plant itself having the best artifacts. Right. People are coming here for different reasons. And what is it? Why do you think people are going to the center of the zone? For some people, I think it is the prospect of the Wish Granter itself. I just got shot in the back by our own dude. I think it's the prospect of the Wish Granter for some, you know, the stories you hear growing up, the horror stories, you hear growing up, some of the myths and legends, yada yada, they form who you are as a person. So everyone that's been here has been hearing constantly about the Wish Granter. Travel to the center of the zone. It'll grant your wish. It'll grant your wish. It's causing hallucinations and stalkers, so there is some basis to it. Like any good urban legend, there is strong evidence to suggest that maybe this did happen, right? Or there's a reason to believe in it, right? Every urban legend is formed by some basis of fact, and then there's the exaggeration of that fact that makes an urban legend what it is. So the Wish Granter... So that is surely what the Wish Granter is. It has been twisted and turned into something of a legend itself, right? It's whatever it is, which we know what it is, but whatever it is, it has become such a mythical, or become of such mythical status in the zone that, you know, even if you do die pushing towards it, you know, would it all be worth it then? I don't know. I think that's for... Oh, Christ alive. I think that's for you to answer yourself. You know? I know, for me, if I were in the zone, I think curiosity would definitely kill the cat. I think I would want nothing more than to see what waits at the center of the zone. But that's just me. Oh, shooters behind us.
Awesome. To the right, behind the pipes.
Oh, Christ. You have to forgive me. These group segments are a bit of a slog, but we must get through them to further our goal.
Clear. Regroup and advance.
And we will further our goal, my dear friends. We will continue on. I think S.T.A.L.K.E.R creating this, he's created this opportunity for stalkers that have the means or the riches or the arms to push into the zone. And for whatever reason that they want to push into the zone, you know, he's given them the ability to do so.
Follow your instincts. Good luck to you.
Right. He's given them the ability to travel to places that were previously inaccessible. And for how long they would be inaccessible moving forward, you know, it's hard to tell. I mean, what if nobody turned the brain scorcher on? It would just continue building up this lore and this reputation.
Target's on the roof to the left. Windows, left and right. One on the roof to the right.
Very good. But everybody has a different reason for going there. You know, freedom wants to beat duty. Duty wants to beat freedom. The military wants to harness the power of the zone, right? And if you don't know, militaries are not your friend, or governments particularly are not your friend, right? And the government and the military wants to harness this power. So why don't they let stalkers into the zone of exclusion, right? What is the basis behind not allowing people to enter the zone, right? It's not because of they're worried about public safety. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you know, the fucking government would, you know, as soon as cut your throat and let you go in, if you were, you know, serving a purpose to them, yes, absolutely, the government would let you waltz right in. Yeah, the military would let you waltz, or the government would let you waltz right in to these zones under the guise of, like, scientific expedition or whatever the hell it happens to be, and not think twice of it because you're plausible deniability, you're acceptable losses, right? Does that make sense? Government doesn't care about you. Government cares about itself. All governments are like this. There's not a single government that truly cares about its people in one way or another, because the good for many is not necessarily good for one, and vice versa. I mean, you know, the needs of one outweigh the needs of many, yada yada yada. Vice versa, and you can flip that argument on its head 15 different ways. But oh, Jesus Christ. You know, the government would surely let stalkers exist under the guise of, you know, scientific discovery or whatever. And then, once they accomplish their mission, what would they do? Shoot them in the back, right? Governments are not to be trusted as a whole. That's just how it is. That's just how governments fundamentally are. They need to maintain such an air of plausible deniability so that the people that maintain power can continue to maintain that power and survive within their own messed up system. Right? It's governments do not care about the life of the individual, right? They never have, they never will. These are expert military. These are Spetsnaz for sure. Look at these guys. Decked out. Those barrel suits are definitely recognizable. Especially because I'm the one I'm the one shooting at them and suffering as a result, because they are just chewing their suits are just, you know, the rounds are bouncing off, is what I'm trying to say. Jesus God. But, you know, all that stuff about the government aside, I believe that stalkers are not allowed into the exclusion zone because I think that the powers that be are scared that perhaps a stalker might go into the zone, find something that the government has not found or does not have access to, and might take it out and sell it to their enemies, or, you know, whatever it happens to be. There's 50 different scenarios you can think of for why the government wouldn't want stalkers freely moving around the zone. Surely you can think of some yourself. It's not good if the government can't, if the government doesn't have it first. I mean, Christ's sakes, look at the United States as a whole. Look at something like Operation Paperclip, as evil as that is. You know, it has pushed us to a point of superiority, military superiority. And is that the right thing? You know, I don't think that is necessarily the right thing. I mean, someone was bound to develop this stuff regardless, but anyways, we've gone way off course here talking about Operation Paperclip from S.T.A.L.K.E.R. The fact that we were able to get there is unbelievable. But we are here. We are here at the Center for Performing Arts, I think, right? Is that what this is? The Ferris wheel in the background. There is supposedly an underground passage we can go through. I don't think we're going to be doing that, my dear friends. And the reason being is that I've already pushed this far on my own. I think I'm going to continue to do so. I'm going to use guerrilla tactics to push through. I imagine Strelick, you know, who wants to go to the center of the zone out of curiosity, right?
Underground car park. We must be right in the center of Pripyat. Keep quiet. Monolith's headquarters are close by. Move on. We're about to make it to the station.
Yeah, I'm just pushing through on my own, folks. My apologies, but look at this. I'd miss all this if I didn't. You know, Pripyat is such a beautiful example of urban decay. There's nothing quite like it.
Underground car park. We must be right in the center of.
So, as much as I'd like to see and enjoy all this, I am going to try to make our way back to our buddies here. Oh, they seem to be pushing through. I can't tell. Anyways.
Underground car park. We must be right in the center of Pripyat. Keep quiet. Monolith's headquarters are close by. Move on. We're about to make it to the station.
See, I'm confused as to how they know that Monolith's headquarters would be here, right? If nobody has been to the center of the zone, how would you know that Monolith was here, right? Or not that Monolith was here, but how would you know that they had set up, you know, they had set up a base of operations, a larger fob here in the center in Pripyat? I mean, you could guess all you want, but without seeing it, you know, how would you know? But you see here, Pripyat is a phenomenal example of urban decay and the beauty that comes with it. Let's see if we can get this guy to pull a frag on us. Nope. No. Okay. Ooh. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, I think what it does to balance the limitations of its engine is, you know, how many S.T.A.L.K.E.Rs do you think would exist at any given time in the zone, right? Now, I don't feel like that would be a nominal number, but it wouldn't be a small number either. You know, several thousand, most likely. Which is not a grand lot of people. I mean, how many people, you know, attend a university, for example? Now imagine all those people spread out over, you know, 25 plus square kilometers, or, you know, 150 square kilometers, whatever the hell it happens to be. You know, it's not as densely populated as it might feel. What I think S.T.A.L.K.E.R does well is that it makes its enemies feel strong, and feel like they're putting up a lot of resistance, right, in order to make up for the lack of people on the map, like the volume of individuals. I'm a bit turned around here. I kind of threw us for a loop here by running around like a goofy. I know where the path is, don't I? You must forgive me. Before we can run, we have to walk. We have to go past the Ferris wheel towards the football stadium. I don't know if we're gonna get a Gauss rifle or not, my dear friends. Pre-firing works every time, doesn't it? Works every time. I guess we're gonna push through this nightmare room. This nightmare structure, excuse me. This is one of the most, if not the most iconic area in S.T.A.L.K.E.R, in my opinion. Now, I've talked about how much I like Wild Territory, and when I think about S.T.A.L.K.E.R, that is what I think of. I do immediately go to Wild Territory. But Pripyat is nothing more than Wild Territory scaled up. It is a larger, more visceral area. It is hostile. It is nothing but urban combat, CQB, you know, Fallujah type. Oh, Fallujah type nonsense. We have to run, unfortunately. I have made a critical error. You do have to quick save the entire time you're in Pripyat too, because you never know when you're going to catch a Gauss rifle round or an RPG, an OG-7 rocket. This is the final trial by combat. You know, and it's not scared to let you know that, you know, Monolith does not want you to succeed in your mission. And I think the pushback that you get in this scene is a great... the amount of resistance you face here is greater than any other resistance you've encountered. You know, the mercenaries is the closest thing in terms of violence that you encounter. But even the mercs aren't nearly as dangerous as the Monolith, right? And the Monolith are so memorable because look at this. Here we are standing in the shadow of the Colossus once more. Not even the nuclear power plant itself is as memorable as Pripyat. You know, and there have been... I can think of two primary examples. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R series and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original, COD 4, that take you to Pripyat and have you explore the Dead City. One of which is more paranormal, that being S.T.A.L.K.E.R. The other is more grounded in reality. But nonetheless, it is still... It has created such a cult following. Such a unique fan base. You know, you have people that... from two very different genres. You know, I feel like people that just enjoy COD don't enjoy S.T.A.L.K.E.R and vice versa. But it has nonetheless created such a unique environment based on a real location. I mean, this is not like a made-up place by no means. This is a real location, a real nuclear disaster. It's just expanding on that concept. And, you know, it's instantly recognizable. If you show somebody a picture of a Khrushchevka from Pripyat, they can instantly tell you where it is. Take the Ferris wheel, for example. There's a pseudo-giant. That's not good. But the Ferris wheel is a great example, too. I mean, anybody, just about anybody in the world can recognize that Ferris wheel. I mean, there was so much impact behind the disaster in media and games and whatnot as a whole, art, culture. Anyways, I'm rambling. Here we are at the nuclear power plant, the heart of Chernobyl. And we have several hazards in the way here. There's a bunch of snipers that wish to do us harm. Good thing we are an expert marksman ourselves. And we have come here to do them harm. Alright. So what I have done is pick up a Dragunov rifle, the SVD. And the reason I have done this is because we can use it to great effect with these BP rounds to help us push into the nuclear power plant. You see, we can barely see it with the fog rendering right now, but soon enough we'll see it. I am very excited to be able to show it to you folks. We have quite a fight ahead of us, though, and unfortunately we may run into a problem with the helicopter, where the helicopter wants to spray at us. Yeah, there they go. Okay. It seems like we may be okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. Unfortunately, that did kill us in the last part, and we had a very difficult time continuing on. We're surrounded on all sides by the enemy. Military on one side fighting to get to the center of the zone at behest of some politician, no doubt, or some scientist who values human life very little. The military, of course, always playing fast and loose with the concept of orders. Our weapon is jammed. Ooh! Look at that. We're under fire by the Hinds themselves, which is an insane concept. That monolithian. They don't seriously wish for me to fire on the Hind, do they? No. Well, I know where we can find... Oh my god. Alright, we're in for a... We're in the ringer here. We have to find an RPG, and we have to find one immediately. Good thing this monolith shooter couldn't shoot, because he had us dead to rights there. We can't run with the SVD, which is bollocks. We're going to continue pushing on, though. Forgive me, but the radio chatter is rather intense. All right. We need to dip out the back here. Continue moving towards the sarcophagus, reactor 4. Okay, if we get hit, directly hit by RPG rounds, then there's no help for us. But we can kill him first. I think we might have killed him. Oh, for the love of God. Definitely not my favorite area within Shadow of Chernobyl, or any other area for that fact. I love S.T.A.L.K.E.R, but the power plant always seems to be more difficult for no good reason. I am going to grab one of these RPGs at our earliest convenience, though. I think we just got one. He doesn't have a missile, though. Which is technically a grenade. It's just a grenade that is rocket propelled. I know it makes a lot of sense. What is the difference between a missile and a grenade that is rocket propelled? Very little. Oh, for the love of God. Okay, we don't... Unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to get an RPG And that's alright. We're just going to have to continue our push forward. We have the military to our back, and you see here, this big open area, this is it. This is the power plant. And it's kind of anticlimactic when you see it, you know, but it's a push. Monolith did not have to put crazy defenses in. Oh, hell. The Monolith did not have to put crazy defenses in place, right? And the reason being is that it's a freaking nuclear power plant. It's already extremely defensible. What they did instead was put a massive array in place, X10, the catacomb, the brain scorcher, and stopped everybody in their tracks at the Red Forest. So that it was almost impossible for people to push through into the heart of the zone. Well, it was impossible until the deactivation. You know what I'm saying, right? We're all on the same page here. We're just going to sneak in undetected, just about, yep. I mean, that's really all she wrote, folks. It's a massive nuclear power plant, extremely defensible, and right here is a ladder leading down into the sarcophagus. You know, it seems bizarre that, you know, all of our effort, all of our trials and tribulations lead to this point right here. Strelok.
Whatever you wish, it will be granted. Come to me.
Pushing forward through the heart of the power plant. Now, we're going to switch over to our armor-piercing rounds. And I'm going to let this speak for itself.
The time has come. I see your wish.
Yeah, the
Your path ends here. Come to me.
Look at that. Gauss gun. Very good indeed. We only have 5 rounds, or 6 rounds. We're gonna have to make them count.
The path has ended, human. Come
Very
to
good.
me.
Here we are, pushing through the heart of the power plant. A voice speaking to us
What
from
you
inside of our
want is
mind.
Here, stalker. Come.
Telling us that whatever we want,
The time
it
has
lies.
come. I see your wish.
It lies right here for us. It's waiting for us.
Only one can be rewarded.
And it tells us, all the while we're fighting, while we're pushing through, delivered directly into our brain, that only one person can be rewarded. Do you think
What you
for a
want
second
is here, stalker.
that that's true?
Come.
Do you think for a single solitary second that the wish granter would only give one stalker their wish?
Only one can be rewarded.
Why? Oh, why? If that were the case, why are all these monoliths here guarding it? Does it make sense?
Whatever
No, it does
you
not.
wish, it will be granted. Come to me.
And the craziest part about all this, too, is that S.T.A.L.K.E.R did this by himself. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is the one who pushed into the power plant by himself. No wonder he's the legend of the zone.
I see your wish.
We don't have to scrounge for ammo, but it is a...
What you want is here, Stalker.
It is a force of habit. Should be a staircase back here. No, it's a hallway and then a staircase. Should go straight up. Yeah, there it is. This is where we utilize grenades.
Come to me. Whatever you wish, it will be granted. Come to me.
Ascending the staircase of doom.
The time has come. I see your wish.
You know, what the Wish Granter does is it makes it seem like it is an alien artifact, right? Or it does transcend life, or at least life as we know it, because it makes it seem as if it knows what we're thinking. It makes it seem like
has ended, human. Come to me.
I mean, for somebody who isn't, for an individual that isn't too high up on the, for someone with
Only one
room temperature IQ, you know, the prospect of this Wish Granter might make sense, you know, or it might sound promising, right? Like, the Wish Granter makes sense until it doesn't, right? It sounds good. It sounds good until it doesn't. It's not impossible, but it's definitely difficult to commentate over the Wish Granter speaking during this segment.
The path has ended, human. Come to me.
It's just so alien. This is such a dreamy sequence. You know, it certainly almost doesn't feel real.
Come to
as
me.
We push.
You will gain what you deserve.
Do you notice how the Wish Granter never says the same thing twice necessarily? It's constantly changing what it is that it's saying. You'll get what you deserve. You'll get what you want. You know.
Ends here. Come to me.
And here we are. Reactor 4. You know, as one climbs,
the path has ended, human. Come to me.
As one climbs up the ladders of the reactor 4, and is greeted with this alien blue glow addressed as human. And there it is.
Whatever you wish, it will be granted.
The Wish Granter.
Come to me.
What would you wish for? What is it that you desire? What is it that you would... What is it that is greater than, you know, your goal here?
The path has ended, human. Come to me.
And there it is, in all of its glory. The Wish Granter. The monolith. The alien crystal. Creature of many different names. What is it, though? What is it? What is it to you? And what would you wish for? When you think about
Whatever
the goal
wish, it will be granted.
Of going to the center of the zone to find the Wish Granter, what is it that you would wish for? Is it world peace? Is it a cure for cancer? Is it wealth? Is it riches? Is it a selfish goal?
Your path ends here. Come to me.
Make a secret wish.
I want to be rich.
So, my dear friends, that was our false ending. There are 7 total endings in. Let's get the hell out of here real quick. Nevertheless, we're going to talk here. So that is our ending, right? And that is not our true ending, which we're going to go back and get the true ending. And in order to do so, we have several criteria that we have to meet. But for our first ending together here on the channel, we got the greedy ending, or I want to be rich. And that is because we are carrying, how many rubles? We have over 50,000 rubles on our person. And our reputation, let's check our reputation here. excellent reputation, over 50,000 rubles, and we did not complete the other criteria in order to get a different ending. Ooh, Christ. So, as you see, we are back here. None of that happened. That was all but a dream. That was all but a dream. A dream that we had inside a locked room. My dear friends, we will come back. We will come back for... This is going to be the secret... not so secret, but this is going to be, you know, the first push into the heart of the zone together on the channel. And our first ending in Shadow Chernobyl, which I could have told you was coming, but it's more fun to go for it. More fun to go with it, indeed. So, it's interesting to see... the... you know, without me having... Okay, I have prior knowledge of the different endings in Shadow Chernobyl and S.T.A.L.K.E.R as a whole, but I do not have perfect recollection. Like, I don't know all of them. I know in Anomaly you have the same criteria, or the same choices, essentially. Like, I want to be rich, I want the zone to disappear, yada yada yada, if you make it to the Wish Granter, which is kind of an ultimate goal for a lot of Anomaly players, myself included. But all that aside, it's funny, the Wish Granter acts as a monkey paw. It is not here for your benefit whatsoever. It is to trick you. It is to bring you to the center of the zone and distract you. Right? That's why Monolith exists in the first place. So, I could ramble on, but we are going to finish this up. In another part, we're going to go through, start to finish, do all the, we're going to do all the criteria that we need in order to get the true ending, which is definitely a treat. And that is the canon ending, the true ending. So, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for videos you think I should make, things I should do, questions, comments, and concerns, please let me know down below in the comment section. It is the best way to get a hold of me, and I read every comment individually. And if you want to play this game for yourself, I will put a link in the description. Oh, we also completed the game on Master difficulty, which is pretty cool. We got the Survived achievement. We got a bunch of achievements for completing it. But remember to mind the gap, Stalkers. Mind the gap. And have a good one. I'll see you in the next part.